Hi everyone, my name's Mark and I'm a member of London Road Baptist Church, and my friend Esther has asked me to share this video with you and tell you a little bit about my life and my journey and how I get to where I am today. So I was born and I grew up in Tadworth in Surrey, and I was born into an amazing family, a Christian family, and I've always gone to church since I was a bubba. We went to Tatman Corner Evangelical Free Church, a bit of a long name. I think they're just known as Merlin Rise now, which would have been easier back then. Went to all the children's groups, went to church every Sunday, went into the youth groups, etc., etc. Went on Christian camps. I've done everything basically. Had loads of friends there. A really, really great place to be for a young person. And through that, I think at 13 I became a Christian. I asked my mum what I needed to do. She prayed with me, and then I prayed and just asked Christ into my life. I wouldn't say that bang, everything changed in my life. Probably, if I'm honest, nothing really happened. At that point, I went to a religious school that my mum and dad sent me to. It was about an hour's bus journey away, which is helpful when you haven't done your homework. And you think I'm joking, which was tough though. Not a lot of kids from my primary school went to that school, so I kind of had to make new friends, and already that's difficult when people have got friendship groups and you don't live in the same area as them. And although it was a religious school, it had all the influences and things that are about when you're a teenager and growing up. I'm not very academic. School definitely wasn't the best days of my life. I struggled a little bit, got bullied a little bit, probably just because I'm cheeky and mouthy back then, a bit too quick-witted for my own good. The only thing that really got me through school was I was handy at football, and I think if I didn't play football as much as I did and had that as my thing that I concentrated on, I don't think I'd be sitting in front of you now. Just I think my life would have been, or I would have gone down the wrong path completely. I'm not saying that I didn't do it on a couple of occasions, but and there was times I got into trouble and headmasters detentions and a week's worth of detentions for just stupid things. But these are things that happen when you're younger, and life has thrown a few curveballs at me. When I was 15, my nan and granddad died very close, like 3 months apart of each other. When I was 17, my dad's business was struggling. We had to sell our house and move 150 miles to Beccles, which has rocked my world really. Having to live in an area that I didn't really know, no friends. So I yo-yoed a little bit. I stuck it in Beccles for a bit, moved back to Surrey, from Surrey back to Beccles, and then Beccles back to Surrey. And at that point I lived with my 3 best mates, which sounds real fun, and it probably was at the time, but I definitely wasn't living a Christian life. Out most weekends, drinking far too much, spending lots of money on really materialistic things that don't make a difference. But God had always got a plan for me. He was always there with me, although I definitely wasn't living a Christian life. I wouldn't say to anyone I was a Christian, but he was always there and he always guided me. And I decided I needed to move back to Beccles to be with my family because I missed them. I was a bit of a mess, I was a bit lost. And on my leaving do, I met this lady who has now been my wife for nearly 12 years. And that's just how God works. I met her in the middle of a nightclub. And I said to my friends, you never meet your wife in a nightclub. Why'd you bother chatting to them? And well, I did. And let's fast forward a little bit to, I don't know, I suppose I was mid-20s. Me and Jen had been dating for a little while, and we now lived with each other. We weren't living a Christian life. Jen wasn't a Christian, but we started to go along to Beccles Baptist Church. We did a Christianity Explore course, and I've never really been, I suppose I have like a childlike faith, and that's always got me through. But doing this course just actually things started to make sense. All the things I've been taught when I was younger started to fall into place, and I could look back and see how God had been there through this whole journey of my life. And now we're at London Road Baptist Church. We have 2 children, and I'm just content. I know that God has got everything set out for me. He's given us some really good opportunities. He's opened doors certainly opened doors for me. Yeah, life has been tough over the last few years. As a family, we've dealt with some things, but do you know what? I'm so glad I've got God with me to deal with those things, because without him, I don't think I'd be sitting here. I definitely wouldn't be happy sitting here sharing my life on video for you. But so for me, just sort of summing up is just, I know God, even when I've been far away from God, he's always been there.